What if my father painted my nails when I was 4? What if I even remembered being 4 or 7 or 9 or 11? What if Jesus or God wasn't a man, as in a he, him? What if I got to play Mary and not Joseph or Jesus or God in the nativity? What if when I was baptized, oh wait, he was the one baptized? What if I would have seen a queer or trans person light a candle, say a prayer, or dare I say speak from the pulpit? What if my mother could have stood up to my father when he attacked that girl in me? What if one member of the family, of the school, of the church celebrated the little girl, the femme in me? What if when the church was the first queer thing I did, that it saw that and celebrated that with me? What if the adults shared stories of affection for fairies instead of how they beat them? When my nephew was a butterfly for Halloween, and when my little brother said, "I love you, sis." When given the option of what to call me, my nephews called me Bonnie. When my not-so-shy nephew hesitantly asked me why my voice was like a boy's but I am a girl. When my nephew informed my brother that I was his sister. When my father asked for his gay son to come home for Christmas, like I could leave Bonnie Violet at the door. When I told my mother I needed her now more than I had ever needed her in my entire life, and she said okay. When my cousin calls to say that boy you were, you never really were. You were being what they wanted you to be. What name would you like me to call you by? When my cousin's daughter instant messages me, she understood why I needed to go away and hoped I had found a safe place. When my aunt said, "I thought you weren't like that. When you said you were gay, you swore you weren't like that." When my grandma says, "We love you anyway," and, "Oh, that's nice, dear." When your brother questions your hesitation about telling mom and dad you're trans by stating, "I have always looked up to you and the way you have always been true to who you are. Why stop now? Don't stop now." When your father stops following you on Facebook because he can't stand to look at you. And when your father ignores you for 5 days over Christmas and you wish your breasts were just a little less obvi, and at the same time you want to yell at him because you know he is better than that and you need him. When your grandfather says that you have just broken your father's heart. When your strong, unfazed mother cries so hard you are afraid she will crumble. When you get HIV because you couldn't say no and you had to have that drink to let yourself be. When you had to drop that ecstasy to soften the blow of life. And when you had to smoke that meth to be sad and to hurt after being raped by a group of men. When you stopped chasing glitter and spent some time in the dark. What if I didn't lose my voice and become mute as a child cause trauma? What if I would have taken something stronger than Tylenol when I was 10? What if my father and mother knew that their child, that one that was amazing, smart, special, generous, the child that they were so proud of, could be trans? What if I could have started that puberty blocker at 12 instead of 42? What if I would have never gotten sober, came to rely on a higher power that I sometimes call God, started doing drag, and never lived into my fullest expression? What if I never left Idaho when I was 18 or 22 or 32? What will happen when I return at 43? What if I never left Idaho? Would I have gotten HIV? Would I have lived into my queer life? Would I have survived long enough? Who would I have hurt? What if I wasn't taught to fear God? What if I had learned that God loves everyone, not just those with the password? When you protect trans youth, you embrace the full image of God. When you protect trans youth, you talk about a Black trans woman, trans person from Ethiopia, and a little boy who loved to wear a princess dress. both of which were powerful messengers of God, for God. When you protect trans youth, you have queer and trans people light a candle, say a prayer, lead a Bible study, or preach from the pulpit. When you protect trans youth, you vote for access to gender-affirming care in all of its forms. When you protect trans youth, you read children's books, and sing songs that mention us. When you protect trans youth, you talk about our existence so we know we are not alone and that we too are children of God.